Hey guys, today I got a special guest from New York. He's one of the guys from way back. He's about two generations behind me. His name is Jimmy Calandra, good friend, good guy. He interests me a lot, and I wanted to talk to him. You know the stories when I was young and I was in the Rampers, and you know a lot of the stories about the Rampers. You're even going to hear more of them. These guys here were from Bath Avenue. They were called the Bath Beach guys. They had stories very, very similar to the Rampers. That neighborhood, like I told you, was infested with the mafia. And guys, young guys, when they grew up, they joined gangs and eventually became in the mafia. And Jimmy's no different than that. Now, I think there's some of my experiences that actually come into your life. You were at Tally's a couple of times, right, when you were
Yes.
younger?
I used to visit Tally's with Georgie Chico
Mm.
on Tuesday nights.
I thought that's where I knew you, but I wasn't 100% sure.
And I ran into you a couple of times in the neighborhood, stuff like that. You were one of the guys that ran the neighborhood at the time when I was a kid.
Well, you said that you bought me a bottle of champagne. I don't really remember the details of that, but I think you're fucking lying, bro. I don't remember no fucking champagne. You lying, motherfucker?
That was 1988. At that time, I think you were meeting Tommy Karate. We were on the corner
Yes.
on Bay 23rd, me and my friends.
Right,
And we sent you over a bottle of champagne from the boys from Bay 23rd.
right. And I recalled that. I wasn't sure, but yeah, that's we were meeting with Tommy Karate at the time.
Yes.
Right. A couple of people send me messages about you, and that's another reason why I had you here today. Plus, I hear you got a lot of fucking money, so I brought you here so I can shake you down a little bit. So explain a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from the same neighborhood as you, Sammy, Bath Avenue, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I grew up on Bath Avenue all my life. As you know, our neighborhood was a recruitment center for young kids. And we were on record with the Banana crime family. And what we did was we committed crimes at a young age, whether it was bank robberies, uh, stealing cars, robbing homes, and then eventually committing murders. We did things for the families. We also did some personal murders for ourselves.
Before I went to prison in 1990, I heard of them. I knew some of them, but their reputation preceded them. They were tough, they were honorable. There was quite a few of them. I told you one time that in the Rampers, we all did this tattoo. I guess it was a thing that everybody did. I had this little diamond on my center of my chest, and some of the main Rampers had that. Jimmy's guys had tattoos, and I guess he could explain that better than me.
So our gang was the Bath Avenue crew. Our leader was Paulie Galino. What we did was we all got numbers on our legs, on our ankles. He was the number one. I was number two. Tommy Reynolds was number three. Fabrizio was number four. Then we had two other guys that were Paulie Galino's goons. Anthony Gonzalez was number six. Mikey Yamin was number five. And then eventually we got Joey Calco. He was number seven. But in the course of this time, you know, we were committing crimes. Going back from when we were kids, and then eventually I went away for bank robbery. And then when I went away, my best friend ended up killing my other friend.
Well, I understand that story. I heard that story. I knew what happened in that story. He wanted to become a made guy. Anthony Spiro was the consigliere of the family. And they had words. He pushed Anthony, roughed him up a little bit in this conversation. And in the mafia, as you know now, he literally signed his death certificate.
Yes.
So while you were away, How did it actually occur? Who got orders and what happened?
Well, what happened was we were having problems with some kids from the other neighborhoods, and we were in a little trouble. Paulie G wanted to retaliate on these kids, and he went to Anthony Sparrow. He wasn't happy with Sparrow. He had a conversation with Anthony Sparrow, and he ended up pushing him, and that's when he signed his death certificate. And my own friends knocked on his door one day and ended up killing him.
Well, it must have been a nightmare then. You were young, you were growing up, you got all these tattoos. It was you guys against the world. I know that feeling. I know I went through the same exact thing. But later on, I got to understand Cosa Nostra, and I'm sure you do now at this point. That's the life. You do something like that, you're destined to go. And he went. It's a shame, and but it splits you up a little bit. And I think that you had made some threats from the prison. You were so fucking mad or so frustrated about this thing that you were threatening your own friends' lives.
Well, when I was away, what happened was I went to Lewisburg Penitentiary at the age of 23, and I became good friends with a guy named Manny Madonna, and he was with the Lucchese family. So, as
Made guy?
he wasn't a made guy at the time. When he went home, he was made.
Mm-hmm.
He got straightened out when he got home, and then he ended up becoming a boss quickly. So I told him my problems when I was in Lewisburg, and when I got home, he eventually went with me to Anthony Sparrow and Joe Benanti, and they released me to him. And now he's on record with the Lucchese family. So I wanted to get away from my friends.
Right.
Because eventually, we were going to bunk heads and probably kill each other.
Right. Same thing happened to me in the Colombo family. When I went in, I had trouble with Shorty's brother, Ralph Spiro. I actually went to kill him, and that resulted in me being transferred from the Colombo family to the Gambino family. So you have a similar story than me in a way. And that's what really drove me to this meeting, to understand you more. So if you make it out of this fucking meeting, we can still talk about it. My son is over there, a couple of shooters are outside, so be careful what the fuck you say.
Well, thank you for inviting me down. I appreciate it. I enjoy being in your company, and
Good.
hopefully I get to learn a few things from you.
I know you're thinking about writing a book. Tell me a little bit about it.
I've been writing a book for a long time now. I have a couple of journals I wrote in prison. It's basically on my life growing up on Bath Avenue, looking up to wise guys, and then putting underneath their wing and putting us on record with them, and committing crimes, and losing some friends. I robbed a few banks. I was involved in a few murders. A lot of crimes. The book is very interesting. It's basically just a bunch of young kids screwing up their lives and not realizing, what we were doing at the time.
It sounds like it's going to be a great book. I'm sure it's going to be a big seller. I know part of your history and part of your story and with your friends. I'm sure it's going to be a great book. You got to promise me that I got a signed copy right away, first out of the box.
Absolutely.
My man. So this was a great meeting. My son's over there smiling at me, and he grew up in the same neighborhood. He knows a lot of your friends, Chris, and he comes from the same area with all you guys from Staten Island. What was it? The Staten Island boys. The same as a lot of you guys were mixed together. You went on scores together and did all kinds of things. So my son and my daughter knows quite a few of you. So it's weird that we have like 3 generations of people coming from the same neighborhood. We talk alike, we think alike a little bit. And it's a pleasure just to sit and talk to you. We chatted for a while. Pleasure that you're down here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me. And just don't kill me.
$1,000, and then you could go home. All right, bro. Listen, people, we're joking and we're laughing, but we're stone serious about everything that's going on. And he's a great guy. You're going to see a hell of a lot more, as far as I'm concerned, a lot more of Jimmy with me on some of my shows. I would really like to have him around and, do some positive things with him. So I'm going to say adios, motherfucker.